Hey wonderful people, so let's begin by getting hydrated because that's important. And starting out with some tunes. I love my Spotify app. I know a lot of you do, and I have been loving the Women of R&B playlist. It is just my jam. Got some oldies and some goodies and some news. I love it. Women empowerment, you feel me? So now time to moisturize this face. I'm using the Pocket Bunny Moist Mist. This stuff is awesome. Gets the face very moist and feeling good. And time to prime using the Maybelline Master Prime. I love this stuff. As I've said, I've used it in the last few videos, and it just helps my makeup stay on. I feel like it also stops a little creasing around my laugh lines and under my eyes, so that's good. So now the face is plump and ready. I'm going to color correct using this LA Girl concealer in orange. This stuff is awesome. It corrects everything, girl. Love it. So just put it on all the dark areas around my face, and using a dampen beauty blender in black, which is my fave beauty blender color, I'm just going to, you know, make myself look a little bit like a Oompa Loompa. Now that everything's blended in, time to do my brows. I'm using this Jordana pencil in dark brown. I actually really like this pencil because it's really dark, and it also is like $2 from Walgreens, so turn up. Alright, so now it's brush time. I'm using a new set I got from Spectrum Collections. I love Spectrum Collections. They're just so pretty and glamorous and gorgeous, and pink, which y'all know is my favorite color. So I'm using the angled brush out of the brush set, and I'm just going to sculpt those brows using the Makeup Revolution concealer palette. Y'all know I love this palette. And I've noticed recently that using a very angled brush, a thin angled brush, to conceal around my brows actually really gets them really neat. So I like that. Y'all know what foundation I'm using. MAC Studio Fix Fluid NC50. It's my fave. And using a kabuki brush, I'm just going to blend this all over the face to get that airbrush smooth, beautified look. So now taking my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, this is in the shade NC45. It's a little bit lighter than my skin tone. I'm just going to apply that right under the eye. I love this concealer, by the way. It's just so pigmented, covers so well, blends like a dream, and it's just, you get so much product. Like, I think I've had this concealer for like literally over a year. Still haven't used it all. Top that. I dare you. I'm just kidding. Okay, so to set this, I'm using the CC Loose Powder Neutralizing shade in yellow under the eyes and also around my smile lines. And I'm using the tulip brush in the set to blend off that excess powder. I'm leaving a little bit of excess powder under the eye just in case there's a little bit of fallout, which there wasn't, but you know, you can never be too careful. So I really couldn't decide at this point if I wanted to go with Huda Beauty palette or the Kylie Jenner Eyeshadow palettes. But as y'all can see by the title, I decided to use the Kylie Jenner Eyeshadow palette in Burgundy. Okay, so going with the shade Beach from the palette, I'm using this as my transition shade, girl. And blending that using a fluffy brush back and forth into the crease. I told y'all this playlist was turned, didn't I? Okay, so now doing this to the other eye, blending back and forth in the crease using the shade Beach as my transition shade. And it's also going to help blending the other shades I'm going to use later. So now going into the shade Penny into the palette, which is a burnt orange. It's very pretty. I love the way this shade looks. And I'm just blending that back and forth, making sure that transition is just perfect. No harsh edges. All blended out. And now I'm going into the shade LA using a dense flat brush. I'm going to pack this from the inner tear duct to the middle of the lid. I'm going to save that outer area for another shade. Now I'm grabbing Dubai out of the palette, which is a shimmery pomegranate shade. Very pretty, and I'm applying that from the middle of the lid to the outer of the eye. And then I'm going to blend back and forth LA and Dubai in the middle of the lid to make sure that transition is smooth. Now I'm going into everyone's favorite shade from the palette, as we can see through Instagram, Burgundy, which is a really pretty raspberry red. I'm blending this back and forth into the crease, building the shade up. Don't want to go too hard with it because I'm really not trying to go for like a super reddy crease look. And then I'm going to take a smaller blending brush to make sure to feather out those edges. I'm also going to go back into that pomegranate shade, which is called Dubai in the palette, and pack that back on the outer of the lid. Now I went ahead into the shade Brick. I swear I wasn't trying to use every color in this palette, but I kind of ended up doing that. But I'm going to blend that into the outer V and buffing that slightly into the crease, deepening up that outer V area. For my highlight shade, I'm going in with the color Naked from the palette. I'm applying that as my brow bone highlight, and as well as my inner tear duct highlight. Blending that in to the shade LA. So for eyeliner, I'm actually going to use my brow pencil as a base, because I'm going to go in a little bit later with the shade Almond from the palette. But I'm just smudging this pencil along my lash line, feathering it out into like sort of like a wing. And now I'm just going to apply the shade Almond from the palette, which is the deepest, darkest, cool tone brown of the palette. And I'm applying that using that same angled brush I used earlier and pressing this shadow along the lash line. I really didn't want to do something too harsh by doing like a wing or whatever. I wanted it to look really, really glamorous, but not too edgy, because I think sometimes the wings are just a little too edgy. I don't know. It's up for opinion. So now I'm taking this really pretty liquid highlighter. You can use it as like a body shimmer. There's so many ways you can use it. I'll link it down below if you guys are interested in it. And I'm just applying this on the high points of my cheekbones. It's almost like a lotion texture. It's really weird because it dries down and it doesn't transfer. So it's amazing. I'm applying that on my highlighting areas, bridge of my nose, tip of my lip, and my chin. And now I'm using one of these beautiful Artist Couture highlighters, diamond powders in Lickable. So pretty. Using a fan brush to apply this to my cheekbones. It's like a really pretty peachy rose gold color. Very beautiful, especially on dark skin. I'm just saying, girl. If you don't have this shade, you need it. Now again, using that tulip brush, I'm going to blend out to make sure there's no harsh edges on my face from the highlighter. Now for contour, I'm using the Sleek Makeup Face Contour Kit in medium. It has been a while since I used this, but I love this. I forgot how much I loved it. It's a really beautiful contour kit. They come in pretty cool shades. You have to order it online from Sleek Makeup because it is a UK based brand. Unless you live in the UK, then you can probably pick it up from your local drugstore. But it's very inexpensive and very, very pretty, and I do recommend it to any dark skinned chocolate girl because they have some really beautiful contour shades. They are on the cooler side, but I feel like with this look, especially with these red tone burgundy fall eyes I have going on, that more of a cool toned contour would kind of tone everything down for the look. And I'm just contouring my chin, you know, making sure I ain't got no double chinage going on, making sure my face is snatched and looking skinty. I'm also going to use a small angled brush, and I'm going to contour my nose with this palette as well. I love contouring my nose using cool tone contour shades. I just feel like it looks more natural on the nose area. And now using a buffer brush to blend out and make sure that nose contour doesn't look harsh, girl. So for lashes, I'm using the Taretist mascara. I actually got this as like a free set or something. I never would buy like a super expensive mascara. I think it's like a waste. But I actually really like this. And if I was going to buy a super expensive mascara again, I probably would buy this one. So for lashes, I'm using these falsies. And I didn't show how I applied them because I feel like everyone kind of knows now how I apply false eyelashes. I did it in my last tutorial if you want to see. So for blush, I'm using a sleek blush. And this is in a very bright orange color. I love this blush because it's going to warm up the face, and I'm kind of blending it into that contour area. And now I'm applying a dark, deep chocolatey brown lip pencil to make sure those lips are looking puckered and beautiful, because we can't do a KYLIE eyeshadow palette look without making sure our lips look, you know, plump, because, I mean, isn't that what she's known for? So I decided to go ahead and bust out one of my MAC lipsticks. It's been so long since I've actually used one. Like, I feel like no one on YouTube actually uses MAC lipsticks anymore. But when I use this, I forgot how amazing they are. I was like, girl, I gotta put these ColourPop $5 lipsticks down and go back to my MAC, girl, because that's where it's at. But I love MAC lipsticks because you can really layer them, as you see I'm doing here, and it just looks so beautiful. I'm not saying the cheaper lipsticks aren't just as good and great, but I just really missed my MAC lipsticks. I'm just saying. So to layer on top, I'm using one of the MAC lip glasses. This is actually an old limited edition one, a VIVA GLAM Lady Gaga 2 lipstick or lip glass. But it's a really pretty nude color, and I forgot how much I love lip glosses. Like, they're so pretty and they last so long and they give such amazing shine and they're not sticky. Like, I need to go back to using these. So to get my face looking dewy, because you know I love dewy face, I'm going to use the NYX Dewy Face Setting Spray. And then to lock everything in, as always, I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Spray. I just heard that this thing is discontinued. Like, that's so sad. Now I have to find a new lock-into-place setting spray. But as you guys can see, this look is completed. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial as much as I have enjoyed hanging out with you. If you like these videos and want to see more, don't forget to like this video and also subscribe. The button's down below. If you are subscribed and you don't want to miss a new video that I make, click that bell-shaped button next to the subscribe button down below. And I hope to see you in my next video. Love you so much. See you soon. Bye.